Okay, hi. Hi and welcome. We're back with Chris from Movies and Munchies and Ruben from the Ruby Tuesday. I'm trying to do your smoky radio voice.
Hey, how are you?
There it is.
Welcome.
All right. I think we're going to have an interesting conversation today because I think we're both in a weird, funny mood. So that's always fun. We thought we weren't going to have that much to talk about this week, but turns out there's loads. So I hope you enjoy this. I think we're going to have a mix of stuff because it's the best thing we watched this week, patent pending uh, series. What are we in our fourth or fifth week?
I think fifth week maybe.
Okay, fifth week. So that's long enough to change it up. So we've got some surprises coming along the way. Stay tuned for that. Leave us a comment down below if you have any ideas where you would think we would topics we should discuss or movies that you've heard of that you really want us to talk about. We'll definitely check those out. Most probably, depending on whether the film's any good or if it's terrible, we could add it to one of our lists. And so we've got interesting lists that I'm hoping that we're going to get into soon. But as for this week, Chris.
How do you feel about musical theater?
Depends on the number. Depends on the film.
Okay. Well, this is not a new. It's a newish show. It's Schmigadoon on
Yes,
Apple TV Plus. Have you seen it?
I've seen the first couple of episodes.
Okay, I'm halfway through, and the first episode. At first, I'm like, if you're unfamiliar with it, quick recap. A couple who's been together for a while, just the spark is not there anymore. They're misfiring a little bit, not really seeing eye to eye on the status of the relationship. So they go away to this weekend type of retreat thing. They're on a hike, and they cross this bridge into this just spotless, very bright colored town that resembles like a musical from the 1940s. And everybody sings and they do all kinds of musical numbers, and they find out that they cannot leave until they discover true love. So there you go. And my wife and I are sitting down last night to watch, and I'm watching. I'm like, oh, okay, this is kind of cool. I mean, it's got Keegan Michael Key and Cicely Powers. Cicely, oh,
Might be Powers.
who? Cicely Strong.
All right.
See, it
Okay.
was something like that.
Yep.
And it is the music caught us off guard. It's very quirky. It's very it's self-aware, I think, in several different ways. And yet by the end of that first episode, I was like, wow, I don't know why I like this so much, but I am instantly drawn to it. And it is just ridiculousness. And I love it. Now, my love, that enthusiasm, that excitement hasn't maintained that high level all the way across. I mean, I'm getting into the show now. I'm seeing more of the nuances. The story, from what I've seen, I'm halfway through, is actually fairly melancholy. When I realized that I don't think this is really a spoiler. Just the characters that we meet, you hear their songs and you hear little bits about their life. And then when you put that with why our main couple hasn't been able to leave the town yet, is because they have not found true love. It makes you wonder how many of these other townspeople were meant to leave, but still have not found true love. And so they're stuck there as well. And so it's, when I say self-aware, the town will start to break out in song, or Cicely Strong, song, break out in song, Cicely Strong. She's like, wait, is this a song for me? And then she would start singing, and it's just, it was a breath of fresh air. It's done in a way that I haven't seen. I mean, the camera lens, I guess it really does feel like I'm watching a musical from the 40s and the 50s. It captures that feel. Even the opening credits, where it has just the music playing and just all of the title cards with all of their names, and the building score and to a sting there. And so, what did you think about it when you saw?
Yeah, so from what I've seen, I was taken back like immediately. Like the first few minutes, I was like, I read the synopsis, but I wasn't sure what to expect. And then it's like you are transported into this, timey-wimey 40s. And I was just like, what is this? This is weird. I kind of like it. Reminds me of Glee, but it's set in that kind of time where they're taking all these topics and themes and singing about their lives and stuff that they're going through. I think the writing in the dialogue singing is actually very good. It feels tight, feels polished. And like as you say, everything is created in this to place you in that time zone, but it's also weird because the characters aren't from that time zone, and so you have that almost fish out of water people from different times placed in that, and I think that makes for an interesting premise. I don't know how it's going to hold my attention. I like the idea of it. If it has that kind of darker storyline where those people are trapped and they aren't unable to escape, and not everybody escapes because not everybody actually leans into love, and some people have been, heartbroken before, and for whatever reason they're stopping themselves from, meeting their true love. I think that's an interesting place that you can play with as a writer, which would be really fun. I hope they lean into that more. But so far, I think it's really entertaining. It is actually quite funny.
It really is. If you watch just Keegan-Michael Key's facial expressions, he acts exactly how I imagine I would act in a scenario like that.
Yeah, no, it's really, exactly how I'd expect him to behave. I think that's part of what makes you comfortable, even though it's uncomfortable to watch because you're not sure what you're watching. The actors that you're used to seeing act in the way that you expect them to, in a realistic way, because that's how you would act if I was transported into that. I'd be like, what on earth? Why is everybody singing? No, get me out of here. And then I would start singing, and I would hate myself for it. It would be like, what is happening? So are you invested enough to watch it to the end then?
I really am. Yeah. Okay. It's only 6 episodes. They're 30-minute-ish episodes. So it is a quick watch. The reason I just didn't get farther in is because we started it so late in the evening. But yeah, I think so, because I'm intrigued enough by the story to see, do our characters discover true love? And the way that it's written, at least to me right now, it's not obvious at what the final resolution is going to become. You figure that there is a character journey here, that there is supposed to be some growth. There's a lesson learned, because each of the characters has deficits, maybe. I don't know. They have baggage, at least, that they bring into the relationship, like everybody does, but they have to be able to reconcile it, because it's not the same baggage, and it's not the same deficits or anything else, And so Keegan-Michael Key has he's definitely more immature in his relationship view. He's, I think, more temporary based, that he doesn't, and so we don't know exactly why that is. I do like that they flash back, and it's very... It's very specific when they show flashbacks. It's like exactly 3 months ago, exactly 2 months and four days, And so you're like, oh well, I don't have to guess where we're at in this timeline. And so I'm enjoying that, and I think, I'll definitely finish it, and then we'll see where it goes, if it's even warrants a second season. I mean, I have no idea, no clue at this point.
Okay.
So what's top of your list?
Okay, so I have 3 things that I'd like to talk about. So I will get your juices tantalizingly flowing for what I'm going to talk about. First up is probably one you haven't heard of, so I'll come back to that in a second. But I'm going to talk about the big one in after your next one. So Shang-Chi and the Legend of the Ten Rings. I can talk about that without doing spoilers, so look forward to that. And then the last one I'll talk about today is Llamageddon. I mentioned to you on our monster list, but I happened to watch Llamageddon. You heard that right, folks. Llamageddon.
I'm so excited.
My goodness. So we're in for a treat. But for right now, there's a film that I'm not sure. You'll have to let me know if it's in the US on Amazon. It's classed as an Amazon original, and I'm not sure if it came out today or yesterday. It's called The Vault. Original title is called Way Down. Basically, it follows a genius engineering graduate who is interested in the Bank of Spain's safe, and that does the film a massive disservice because it doesn't actually explain what the film is about at all. It stars Freddie Highmore, Astrid Burgess Frisbee, interesting name, Sam Riley, Liam Cunningham. They're faces of people that you'll recognize, but names that you might not like have in the top of your head. Suffice to say, this was a surprise for me. If you took National Treasure with Nicolas Cage, do you like National Treasures?
I love National Treasure, yes.
Great. So you take that and you take Ocean's 11 and you slap them together. And that's what this film is. You have a crew of somebody that's trying to find a very secret treasure. And then you have someone taking that treasure and they have to go into this bank vault that is that has so much mystery around it that nobody knows what it is. Everybody just knows it's unbreakable into it because it's really unique. And so you need a master genius. And that's where this genius comes in. And yeah, so Freddie Highmore, he plays genius really easily. He's done like medical dramas where he's a genius. I think he plays a savant with autism in that. And so he's immediately likable in this, although he always comes across as a very young kid because he has that face that he just looks young and never ages. They've given him a bit of stubble to make him like grow older.
Age him just a bit, huh?
But what I loved about this is for me the perfect Saturday adventure movie. You just settle into, oh, I know what this film is. So it doesn't do anything new. But if you love National Treasure, that adventure, that escapism, and you love heist movies, and you, like I said, you put those two together, you're going to get that. And the score is so much better. I don't know what I was expecting, but when you see stuff that's maybe an original title, I don't have so much faith in them anymore. But occasionally you come across one that you go, oh, this is better than I expected it to be. The score tells you the quality sometimes of the film that you're watching. And for me, maybe the score is better than the movie. I don't know. It's just very good. It feels like it's an epic adventure film, but it's not cheaply done. I don't know. Does that make sense?
It totally makes sense, yes. And for our U.S. viewers, it is available on Netflix right now. It did come out in the theaters very briefly, and I think that was just a misstep at timing with COVID when things were closed versus opening and stuff like that. But yeah, it is now, at least right now, as of this recording, it is on Netflix also. So if you're in the UK, Amazon Prime.
Thank you. So I did wonder about that. It's weird which titles get originals added to their titles. Like, you're not obviously the original. You bought it. So have you seen this?
I haven't. I have it on my list, and I've seen it, scroll through the queue and stuff like that. But it intrigued me. But honestly, I think when I saw the premise and probably exactly like what you read, it was like, I don't I got other things that are more pressing on my time. Hearing this though,
it's not brilliant, and you do know what it is, but it is a lot of fun. It's like, I didn't clock watch, and I didn't want it to be over, and I kind of wish there was a TV series of this group because it's a builder. You build the team, and everybody has those quirky things that they do, and then one person's like, why is this kid on our team? Because you're just a kid. What do you know? The kid has like a dark background story, a broken up family, that kind of stuff. So you have all these pieces, and I think it fits together quite well. I'm not sure I would have gone to the cinema to watch it. So hearing that it has gone to the cinema, that's interesting. But it's perfect for home viewing. Easy watch.
Okay. Perfect. Well, that's good. Yeah. Then I'm going to check it out. I enjoy a good, fun, casual watch. That I can sit down and I can be entertained by. And especially this sounds surprising. And so
that's what I was like, okay. Because I've been wanting National Treasure 3 for years. Like, please, come on, give us National Treasure 3. We probably aren't going to get it because Nicolas Cage has gone into the realm of doing the weirdest films you can ever do.
Very true.
Yeah. But yeah, like you, I love those films. So what's next on your list?
Okay, so I saw, this is a Polish series, and it's funny, it's geared towards younger audiences, not younger, not like kids, but like probably YA, young adult, late teen type of thing. I found it enjoyable as a mid-40s guy. And it's called Open Your Eyes. It's on Netflix in the U.S. It may be worldwide too. And
It's in the UK, so
okay, okay, outstanding. Well, it's a giant gaslighting series. It's a limited. Well, no, I don't know if it's limited, but it is.
contained
It's
story.
not a large number of episodes. It does have a resolution ish to it, but they do continue it on. So I think it does need a. I want a second season because I don't have all of my answers. Actually, I don't have a lot of answers. I have some resolution, but it was enjoyable. So it follows a group of amnesiacs and then one girl in particular within this, and they're all at this facility for people with memory loss. And the thing that struck out to me was like, wow, there are a lot of people in this age range that are suffering for this. I don't know how true that actually is. It's horrifying if that's, I mean, if it's a really common type of thing to happen. But our main character she goes in and out of, she'll wake up in things and be seeing something and then wake up again, or she'll be experiencing something and then she'll go to sleep and wake up. The whole thing, we do not know what to trust. And we have an entire cast of characters who are unreliable narrators. And from a viewing experience, it was actually fun because I got to sit there and be like, well, I think this is where it's. Oh no, I don't know now. It constantly caught me off guard that way. I don't think that they explain everything as well as they should. I don't think that they give a lot of detail to certain characters that I think are more important. Like we needed some more info on these people. I do say that the last two episodes picked up for me. I mean, you spend the first, I think it's 8 episodes, maybe it's 6 episodes. You spend the first chunk of time really becoming invested in the characters, and they build a good world around them. I think it drags a little bit at times, though. It's like, okay, we're seeing this. I get it. Let's move forward a little faster. The last episode, especially though, whoa, they pack a lot into that and really move it forward. And so it takes a whole different view of what we've been seeing, and which could provide answers, and yet it confused me even more at times, which I enjoyed. So it's this is not
guessing.
one. It does. It really does. I don't think it's one that you just like, okay, I clear my calendar. I absolutely must sit down to watch this. But if you find yourself like you're looking for a mystery or you're looking for something where it's like, well, this is just different. This is, it's decent. The acting is, it really is. I mean, the acting is done fairly well for the most part. You have people who are all unreliable and they're put into this facility. You can kind of lack in certain development. Well, and that's the other thing. There is almost zero character development, and until the character themselves actually learns about it, because they have memory loss. You know what I mean? And so they're playing catch up. And so we go along that ride with them. And so if you need your character development up front, then you won't enjoy this at all. If you become invested with the characters just by their situation, by their circumstance, and then by the information that comes at you, versus being, having somebody set up and then being able to be invested in them and then go on the journey. So,
oh, that's interesting.
Yeah.
Huh. So how did they leave it? Do you think, without doing spoilers, do you think they will come back for a second season? Is there scope there for a second one?
There really is. Yeah, they've set up this world, and there's a slight sci-fi aspect to it where I thought I knew where it was going, and I really did think that they were going to resolve a lot of that, and they didn't. So you have a lot of buildup, you have some answers, and then you have this reveal type at the end, where a reveal comes earlier also, but maybe confirmation of a reveal.
Right.
And they definitely open it up and leave it so that there is more story to tell. And maybe that's why the season is so short. It's either 6 or 8 episodes. Maybe there's another group of them that they're going to do for the second season. I don't know if I want it to continue on beyond that. I
Yeah.
guess I would have to see how it plays out. But I want my character to find resolution. I want my character to find the answers, and then I want the series to be done.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Like I want the story, but I don't want 6 seasons of this, because I'm not going to become invested in that. I'm going to peter out probably by the end of season 2, unless you bring something really shocking and compelling.
Yeah, maybe that sci-fi element.
Yeah, exactly. And I think it's an interesting thing. It has to do with just with computers. That's say that. That's
right. Yeah. Okay.
Cool.
I do have an interesting question about that. Coming from our age demographic, do you think our very old age demographic?
Let me go get my cane. Wait a minute. Oh, I threw out my head. What? Come on.
Coming from that. No, I mean, we're obviously older than YA.
Yes.
And this seems to be the demographic for that. Do you think we see it differently? I imagine we do. Is it aimed at the older generations who might remember once being young, or do you think it's like something for everybody?
I think it has elements in there for everybody. You can definitely tell just by the cast, and maybe some of the the angst that's going on within there, that it is geared more towards the younger than towards us.
Yeah.
But it's not. I didn't get the sense that it was like that. Like I would be excluded from enjoying this.
Good.
You know what I mean? There's
Yeah.
there's information in there.
Sometimes you watch shows like that, and it's like, yeah, I'm not sure this is for me because of the age thing. Yeah.
Yeah, and I think it depends on how they tackle the information.
For sure.
Really, you know what I mean? That because you can have this YA stuff, and then sometimes it's so it really, like, gosh, what was it? Tiny Pretty Things, which it was that ballet dancing movie that was just atrocious, or a series that was just terrible. I really think that was geared towards the younger audiences, even though the content should not have been geared towards the younger audiences, because it was, even though it dealt with adult themes too. So I don't.
Yeah.
You know.
Sometimes I don't get that either. Yeah, I've seen quite a few YA stuff where the age restriction is 14 plus, but the series is an 18. So the age is at 14, that they want 14 and up to watch it, but it's an 18 because you've got that serious amount of nudity and I guess the themes that they're tackling. Yeah, it's an interesting way to go. Yeah, okay.
Yeah. I think if a story is done well, then really it should be able to surpass an age demographic. You know, like
Pixar.
There you go. Yes, absolutely. Very well. Almost, I would argue at certain points, it's, while the presentation is for children, the entire message is for adults.
Oh, for sure.
This, you know, but that's
what were you going to say?
Hunger Games.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, that is classified as a YA series. You know, just from the books themselves. And I've not read the book, so I don't know how.
I have. Yeah.
Okay. Well, I enjoyed the movies. You know, it's an adventure story. There's some love in there. There's some intrigue. There's, you know, just deception and all of the things that make for a fun story.
Yeah,
and sure. I think that, you know, that shows why it could surpass just this one age demographic and have a wide appeal. And so when you have a good story to tell, then I think, from short of you being like a Nickelodeon series or a Mickey Mouse Clubhouse, where you're truly only aiming at like the 5 and under crowd, you know, write it to have an audience in mind, a specific age group or something like that, so that you can really hone in. But, you know, when it has a wider appeal or something, or themes in there or characters that resonate beyond that, That's what then really connects.
I think that's it, isn't it? So it's like if you're a cartoon series even, and you're able to appeal to 60 and 70 years olds because you've put themes in there that they remember, they resonated with, like the Dragon Prince on Netflix. It's a proper kids series. The animation is great, but there's like themes in there that I relate to, or that I want to relate to. It's like, yeah, messed that up as a kid, or yeah, why is he making the wrong decisions? You're not gonna know what's gonna happen to you if you do that decision, right? We have some experience of the world, so if you're able in your writing, then I think it doesn't matter really what originally your I guess your platform, what you were aiming for, 14, 18, 50. There should be hopefully something for everybody to pick at and go, yeah, that was cool. Because there's going to be themes in films that nobody should be able to relate to, like Candyman. Technically, that theme should only be for serial killers, right? Or supernatural entities.
Actually, though, there is a theme in there, and it's on my list, so we'll get into it.
It's on your list.
After yours.
I'm looking forward to that. Okay.
Yes. So, all right. Okay. So I forgot all the things that you had listed.
Yeah. So I had. Lastly, it's going to be Llamageddon.
Okay.
But this one is Shang-Chi and the Legend of the Ten Rings. So this was actually a family event. So it was really fun. We spent way too much money trying to get to London and back. Totally worth it. Because we had to take trains. It's an hour and a half each way, just to the train stations, tube stations, car journeys. It's a whole day event. It's one of those, the travel is at least half of your day. We got back at midnight shattered. But we had a lot of fun. Surprisingly, my wife enjoyed the film, I think, the most out of all of us, and she's not a huge Marvel fan, if at all. Like, if I'll be the one say, who wants to go to watch the latest Marvel film, and maybe my son or one of my sons will go, yeah, I'll go if I have to. It's like, gosh, okay, I haven't done well in parenting. Like, if your kids are like, yeah, Marvel, yeah. But this one, she loved it. And so I think that just shows the uniqueness of the story, where it can stand alone as an individual film, be really engrossing as it evolve you in those characters that you care about them. And I think that's what it was for me, is that they establish the characters that you love literally from the beginning. First 10 minutes, I'm in love with the characters. I knew Awkwafina was going to be great. Like, I think she's great. But she is so perfectly cast in this role, so that when you have your main character, they're best friends, and he's got family turmoil. I'm not doing spoilers. When you get to the martial arts, you really care about the martial arts because you care about what's going on. And in the background, you have Awkwafina, who knows nothing about martial arts or this world that her best friends involved in, and so she is along for the ride, which makes you along for the ride. It's such a clever storytelling mechanic that they've used in this. And so right at the beginning, you're thrust in and you're loving it. And then the film, halfway through, takes a turn and you're in the fantasy element. And the fantasy element is so big that I was like, oh, literally in my post when I was posting about this, I said, move over, Falcor. I have a new favorite dragon. If you know Falcor from the Neverending Story, used to be my favorite dragon. My gosh.
Really?
Loved it. So good. The fantasy element in this I love fantasy stuff. That's my niche. Like Lord of the Rings, I'm there. I watch that once a year, the extended editions, back to back.
That's the only edition.
Oh, thank you.
I mean, just be clear. There's only one version that anybody should ever see.
Yeah, preach it. Yeah, absolutely. That's the stuff, man. And so, yeah, Harry Potter's love or fantasy magic. That's where I want to be. Like, if I could choose, I would go into a fantasy realm. So, see, I'm gonna go live there. Of course, I would die immediately because an orc would kill me, and I would die in the most ridiculous way. An orc would just slap me, and I'd hit my head on the rock or something.
It'd be done. Yeah.
Be worth it. I was here for a moment, guys. Anyway, the martial arts is something that I didn't expect to be as good as it is. At the same time, it is very fantasy in the ways that, if you remember Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon, there's like the way they use Tai Chi and then they have that flowing around the movements, which is beautiful. And then there's wire work. That is all in there. So it just feels very authentic to the types of films that we had, that we're used to, all that, I guess, from country, from culture. And then we, as I guess, not an audience that won't always be used to that. If you're not used to that sort of martial arts, you're going to be like, why are they flying about? Although we're in Marvel territory, so anything is doable, right? Yeah.
Everybody flies through stuff, right?
Yeah. At the same time, Kevin Feige is a genius, because if you go back and look at the lore of where he's been creating stuff and setting this particular film up, you can go back to film 1 with Iron Man. And there's stuff in there that's synced to this. And so as a geek, your mind is blowing up. You're like, oh my gosh, how does he do this? How did he know? Surely he didn't know that far ahead. Like, maybe they did, because damn, it's clever. And so again, at the end of the film, I saw at least half of the audience getting up. It's a Marvel film, people. Why are you getting up? The mid-scene credit, which I'm not going to say anything about, obviously, sets up stuff for the future that's really important. Like, it's probably the best mid-credit scene I've seen in a long time. And you'll understand it. It's one of those you can pick apart and start going, oh, this means that, that means that. Like, my geekiness is... and then at the end, there's another one. And it's not as important at the mid-scene, but important for the future of our characters in the film we've just seen. And I'm not going to say who survives and what's going on, just saying our characters. Suffice to say, I loved Suicide Squad, the new one, The Suicide Squad. I thought it was a lot of fun. I'm putting this one above that for me. I enjoyed it that much. And
really?
Maybe it was part of the hype. I watched it in London, and it was full cinema, the biggest one we have in London. So probably about 1,500 people in the screening, because it's massive. It's a very big screen. Would have had more, but they had to do like COVID spacing. It's a converted theater, so they have those stalls, but more comfortable seats now, thankfully. And best surround sound you could hope for. So maybe that the atmosphere, seeing it with all people that are really energized to watch a film, probably the best way you could watch a Marvel film, to be honest. The score, have to talk about the score. It is so eclectic and so different. You go from heavy, like, drum beat music, orchestral pieces, then to proper music that I don't normally listen to, but just fit the pacing. At the beginning of our press screening, we had a DJ at the front, and so with the score that was in the film, so really getting you in the zone. But then when you're in it, you're hearing those pieces that they played. I would very much recommend going to listen to the score on Spotify, wherever you listen to music, because it's so different and it's so much fun. But when you take that bit of score and you put it with the fight sequence that's going on, you're like, whoa, this is good, this is fun, it really, really works well. Have I got you excited yet to watch it?
Yes.
Yeah, there you go.
And I would argue, though, that while the experience hyped you up for it, I mean, I can't even imagine seeing it on a screen big enough to hold 1,000 or 1,500 people.
Yeah.
You're several days out from seeing it. Saw it. Watched
when
it.
Was it? Yeah. Yeah,
So-
Monday. Yeah.
So okay, so we're almost a week out. So you I mean, you still have that level of excitement. So
Yeah,
I
I've
think,
carried that with me. I want to watch it again. I'm definitely going to watch it again.
nice. Okay, well, see, I'm seeing it at some point this coming week.
It's
And
out in a
I
couple
am
of days, right?
The 3rd,
3rd?
September 3rd.
Yeah.
Yes. So this coming Friday, and I'm like, I just can't wait. I gotta go. And I think I've got to talk to my youngest son. I think he took 1 or 2 days off from work because he was like, "There's no way I'm going opening night.
Worth it.
I'm gonna
Worth it.
So if I can get into, if there's going to be, I don't even know if there's going to be any screenings around me. If there are, then maybe I'll take him. I don't know. We'll see. But it just, I am really excited about it. I had rewatched a bunch of the Marvel movies this year, just casually, just because I was like, I just want to start over. And Disney Plus
I have them
puts
all.
them in timeline order.
Yeah, clever. Yeah.
Which I thought, you know what, that's fun. So I started watching them that way. And knowing then that, the movies that are coming out soon, like in this year, part of next year, whatever. And when I was watching Iron Man, I remembered that reference of them. It was brief, but it was talked about of the something of the Ten Rings, and you see some imagery, I think, on a flag or something like that. And when I saw Iron Man, and even rewatching it several times before recently, it meant nothing to me. It was just like, oh, whatever. And then when we get this movie's coming out, I was like, ooh, wait, and so I put those pieces together. So I'm really excited.
How far did you get into it? How many have you seen?
I went all the way through Endgame.
Oh, okay. So really sets you up nicely for some of the things that happen in this film.
Okay.
We definitely need to talk spoilers next week, I think, because you're gonna want to talk about things. Yeah.
Good. Yeah, I really am excited. I think, and to hear that that your wife, who doesn't necessarily get excited for the Marvel movies, which the same thing on my end. My wife is like, nah, go ahead, or she'll go with me because she wants to,
because she's supporting.
Yeah, exactly.
And a day out, the dates. Yeah.
Exactly. Would she have chosen that movie? No, and that's totally fine. But it to hear that your wife was excited, really enjoyed it coming out. I mean, I think that also speaks to the level of storytelling, that it really sets it up and tells us that, this is made for more than just the Marvel fans. What they have done is they have crafted a really good, well-told story that also you can geek out to.
Yeah.
Sweet.
Absolutely. There were elements that I would have loved more from, but I just think they had so much to deal with. They're doing an origin film with so many characters, and trying not to do origins for each of those characters is tough. So you don't get as much backstory in some of the characters that you want. And there's some other characters that crop up on screen that you maybe want to know more about, like what's been happening with you? Where have you been? That sort of thing. But there's enough there for you to go, oh, I wonder what that means for the future, which is a lot of fun.
Nice.
Okay, so what's next on your list?
Okay, so Candyman.
Okay, Candyman.
So,
that's
Candyman,
twice.
Yes.
Candyman, that's 4 times.
No, so I know that you are not a huge horror fan.
Yeah, it depends on the horror. Yeah.
Yeah. This one is not, it's classified as a horror. It has some horror elements to it. It certainly has more blood and gore. That is what it really pulls in from your traditional horror genre.
Okay.
For me, it was not scary.
Interesting.
But I say that because I am a white guy. Okay, so this deals with a lot of themes that affect the black community. And I appreciated the commentary that they put in this. And it wasn't just preaching at us, because it was wrapped in story that had meat to it.
Right.
For the first time, I think ever. Now, let me back that up. I don't remember the original movie too much. I remember watching it. I remember enjoying it at the time.
It's old. It's a long time ago.
It's what, 92?
Yeah.
I think something
That's
like
a while
that.
ago.
I mean, yeah, that's a bunch of years ago. And so I think I've seen it once or twice since then, since it came out. But it's been, more than a decade since I've watched it. So it's not fresh in my mind. I don't remember the level of detail of story building around the entity of the Candyman. And so that what that brings in, all of the history that goes with that they craft in this story, really makes it become relevant for what we deal with in today's society. And then you bring in all of the today issues without it. Really, it wasn't. I mean, it was preachy. I felt it was a little more obvious than it needed to be. But something that I had said in my review is that, you know what, there are a segment of people though that don't even get the obvious, and so it has to be like super obvious and just pointed to say that this is what this message is, because it's important to tell. Now, so to back up, I I didn't find it scary because I don't go through the same things or some of the same horrifying scenarios that my black brother and sisters go through. You know what I mean? Like I can't relate. I can empathize, but I cannot, fully experience that. So I do know that it's going to be more horrifying, more real for that audience than it was for me. It's still, though, I mean, it was a visceral experience. I enjoyed it. The special effects were amazing. The cinematography was phenomenal. It takes place in Chicago, and they use the height of the buildings and the massive dense fog to really play with things. I think at one point they had taken this scene where they're going and you can see the building in the fog, and they flipped it upside down. And so it almost looked like a reflection, but then it was like, am I looking down? Am I looking up? It was just, it was done really well. Excuse me. Mirrors play a lot into this, just because of the whole lore with Candyman. You know, you say it into the mirror, and then his reflection comes, and then, well, you die. But they will show a mirror off to the side of something, and you'll see action going on, and then you'll see imagery that you can only see within the mirror there, you know, or in a reflection off of something else. And so that's a lot of fun. And there's bees are a part of it, just with him. So when bees appear, you know, he's coming. And the way that they use the bees and the mirrors, I thought it was great. The acting was, you have these flawed characters that I liked how they worked because they felt real. Just some of the things, especially the character interactions between our main couple, you know, they weren't all happy-go-lucky the entire time. Their discussions, their disagreements felt legitimate, and so I connected with that because it just like, oh, okay, well, yeah, I can really see this happening. I enjoy that. There was one other thing that I was my criticism of, or the negative, I think, is that the ending, the climax, reveal, resolution, all of that came too quickly.
Okay.
Like we have all of this build up, and then boom, something happens, and I'm like, okay, I can see this happening, but I'm not sure that the transition at that rushed pace makes me happy about it. You know what I mean? Does that make sense? Like it just came in too quick of succession. But aside from that, it was a good watch. I had a lot of fun with it. My wife enjoyed it. It was definitely, there was a discussion afterwards. You know, some of it was based on, well, it wasn't as scary as I thought it was going to be. It didn't make me, you know, didn't have that more creepy element to it. But yet it was still disturbing. And again, you know, the topics that they tackle, I think that is really the reason to watch it, which I think also might be the reason that people don't watch it.
Yeah, because it's
unfortunate.
Not quite that we're expecting from Candyman. You go with a certain expectation, and then when that's different, people often go, well, that's a bad film then. Is it? Yeah. It's interesting. But these type of films do have to answer. They have some stuff to answer for, Chris. For example, It. You've seen It, I take it?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
The new ones, right?
Either one will do.
Okay, sure. Yes.
It's for that reason my wife is terrified of drains, because it at one point comes out of the drain, right? Like, and so I get it. For me, the shower heads with Nightmare on Elm Street 3, I think, with they start twisting, right? Psycho with the curtains, you know, it's like, right? And so now, if you're going to the bathroom at like 3 a.m. and you're going to take a wee, and you happen to turn and you see your reflection in the mirror, how quickly do you turn away and go, nope, not looking at that?
Exactly. Yes. I think if you put yourself in that mind space and just be like,
you've just seen the movie Candyman or It, and you're in the bathroom and you look at a drain, you're like, mm-mm.
No,
And
no.
you don't necessarily want to turn the light on because it's too bright, but then you're standing there in the dark trying not to miss for a guy because you're aiming, and then there's like, is a werewolf going to come up, or a shark or a snake from the toilet? Is there a monster in the drain pipe, or is Candyman in the mirror? These films, man.
Yeah, yeah, and surprisingly, yeah, they mess with all kinds of stuff that's in the bathroom.
Right.
That's not okay.
That's not okay, man.
You're in
That's
your
sacred.
most vulnerable spot.
Yeah, that's personal space. Sorry, I took a side note there.
That was good. Yes, and now I will think about it. Yeah,
Yeah, sorry. I could go to the bathroom now.
yeah, no doubt. All right. I have one more, and I know you have one more. Mine's quick, so
Do you want to jump into yours? Yeah.
Yeah, let me just do this one really briefly, and then we'll go into which I'm excited to hear about. Your Llamageddon.
Yeah.
So I watched He's All That. I know you watched He's All That.
Yeah.
The bright spot in the movie, Matthew Lillard, at the end, as the principal, doing his dance and doing his snarky one-liner, sarcastic burns, basically, to all these entitled children. And so, for me, that was one of the best things that I watched this week. Like, I absolutely love that. I could have used an entire movie of just him.
Oh wait. So, what?
Wait, what? What? Chris,
What movie did you watch? Because the more I think about the movie, the more I hate it because of the entitled children. I'm like, what world do they live in? Like, the majority of people don't have that sort of lifestyle, man. We don't have that sort of money.
Oh yeah. Well, and in what world is the undesirable, the not popular, the one most in need of makeover, the really handsome ripped kid?
Yeah, he's got like a 12-pack.
Yeah, he did. Yeah, I was like, what the crap? But who just doesn't use social media. And his flaw maybe is that he has long hair and they put a beanie on him. And
That's my look, man.
yeah, but the transition is okay. So we're going to cut his hair some.
We're going to cut his hair and put him in a suit.
Yeah, you took away his flannel, which I take personal issue with.
Right.
But no, it is, okay. I gave the movie just an okay score. And really, it was funny because I was explaining it to my oldest son, who I saw last night, and he was like, so what was it? Is it worth seeing? And I'm telling him all about it. And he's like, so this is trash. And I'm like, well, yeah, I guess. I mean, I didn't hate it. I don't think it's the worst thing I've seen at all this year. I mean, because come on, we've watched.
No,
when you watch the breadth and the amount of crap that we watch,
we've seen a lot.
Call something the worst, or even in that top segment of the worst. That's a special spot, and this one didn't fall into that one. Now, and like you, the more I think about it, I like it less and less.
But Matthew Lillard, it's great seeing him, for sure.
Absolutely. If nothing else, fast forward to the end, like I think the last 10 minutes of the movie, watch him at the prom scene, and then turn it off. That's all. So he was definitely the bright spot of the movie. Okay, that took way longer than
Sorry.
than I anticipated.
Yeah. Let's do this, people. Let's wash the stain of that movie out of our mouth. And so I'm probably being too harsh on it. It's not that bad. But talking about something that you'll need to wash out of your mind, Llamageddon. Believe it or not, this film came out in 2015, so it's not even that old. Ooh. Let me read the synopsis for you. A killer llama from outer space crash lands on Earth and brings death and destruction to everyone in its path.
How can we not all be watching this?
So this film is without a doubt worse than a student film. Like, it's the sort of films that I produced at uni when I went to film school, and television and film production. So it has a really nice title. Makes me think I'm more important than I am. I'm not. If you've seen my films, you'll be like, so cheesy. But this feels like a film where they've called in the grandparents, the best friends, it has no budget, and yet there are moments when you're like, how on earth did you get an actual helicopter to land and do a scene with you? It's like, it's bonkers. And yet the llama that lands, the evil llama, is in a is in a futuristic state-of-the-art spaceship, which is a horse carriage that's got like styrofoam wings planted on the side of it, and the actors have to come to it and go, what is this? This is the most futuristic thing I've ever seen, man. The evilness of the llama is like those really glowy red eyes that they do in the 80s and 70s films, right? That
Lets you know they're bad.
they've kind of managed to do frame. It's like not always on the eyes of the llama. And the kills of some of the llama, when you see the shadow, it's obviously someone doing this with their hand on the wall. You're like, what? Have to watch this movie. It's awful. It's not even awful good. It's just awful. But it's a film you want to drink to, and you want to talk to your friends about, because you can't believe this is actually a film that was produced and released. It's on Amazon, so it's in the plethora of an actual feature.
So that was my question: does it fall in the realm of so bad that it's good?
No, it's
But we
awful.
all know-
No,
that
it's terrible. It's bad. It's really bad. It's you won't even enjoy it. I forced myself to watch it because I wanted to talk about how bad it was. So maybe it's good in that
I'm
way.
watching it with my sons. Yes.
It's worse than the one that you got me to watch. Yeah.
Come on, no, that one is spectacular.
No,
it was terrible. It's horrid, but it's
No, because at least that one knows it's bad. It's
Yes.
self-aware. This one takes
totally.
itself seriously.
Oh
Yeah.
no.
Yeah.
Oh, no.
And
There's nothing more painful than watching these actors who believe in what they're doing and believe that what they're creating
they're not actors. They're definitely not actors. I can't place them in that. I'm sorry if you're in this film and you're watching this and you're like, could you say that? No. No.
So they were strangers who wandered off and got $3.
It's like mom and
stay
dad.
alive.
It's like mom and dad are on, and just, yeah. Oh, my gosh.
I'm so gonna watch this.
I can't wait till you see the llama, and then they're horrified, and then the.
Is it okay? So here's a couple of things, like, because spoiler alert, which is not, but just tease for something that is upcoming that Ruben and I are working on. We are creating a list of animal-themed horror movies that realistically they're all going to be some level of terrible.
For sure.
But some will be that so bad they're great, and others will be just like this one that's trash. But is it? How long is it? And is it like I think you said it was kind of a chore to get through? Is it boring, or is it because it's so bad that's what makes it hard to get through?
It's definitely boring in parts. Because the dialogue has been delivered and I want to cut out my eyeballs. Bad.
Okay.
But then there is the moments where you finally get to the llama, and that's all you want to see because of how terrible that is. There's some trivia that one of the characters named Dan changes his shirt 23 times throughout the entire film. An average of one shirt changes every 3 minutes for no reason. There's no continuity at all.
Oh, well, that's good. Okay.
Yeah. And in the credits, they say no llamas were hurt during the production of this film, just the dignities of all involved. So maybe they were aware. I mean, you can't make this film. Come on,
Maybe they put that in after they saw the final cut. After
maybe
they produced it, and they're like, well, okay, this sucks. Let's pretend that we knew we were making a bad movie. And
the director Howie Dewin hasn't gone on to do anything else. No, nothing.
Well,
that's it.
That's unfortunate.
Because we could have had Llamageddon 2. Or
Okay.
Llamageddon versus Sharknado. I mean, there's a whole franchise they could have gone into.
There's all kinds of good stuff there.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah.
Oh my goodness. Okay, I have found my next movie. I'm so excited. I hope I can get through it. Or if I find myself, like, oh gosh, I can't take fast forward to Llama.
Yeah, you might fast forward to Llama, which is totally okay, just for the Llama bits.
Well, there was a movie that me and my sons watched, and I can't even remember the name, but it was one of those that was absolutely so terrible that we ended up fast forwarding so that we could watch some level of violence occur, to the character. And it was, even at that point, it was terrible. But we were fast forwarding through large chunks of absolutely nothing happening. And then to get to this small little thing and then go, I'll have to ask my sons what that movie was so that I can warn everybody to just not even waste your time on this, and I don't think it's actually something that you would click on knowingly.
No, probably not.
Unless you were inebriated or looking for a drinking game with your friends. But I don't even think this one had drinking game opportunity.
Oh dear.
So,
Yeah.
all right. So Llamageddon,
Llamageddon.
Okay, I'm adding it to my list.
You should add Zombievers to your list.
Is that not on there? Okay.
Is it not? Okay. Because
I don't know. We'll have to add that.
I reviewed that recently and I was shocked because I really enjoyed it. It's terrible, but I really enjoyed it. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, I will watch that one as well. I had seen it, and again, the description was one of those that I was like, "Oh, this is
the greatest thing ever." Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah.
I've got to watch this. And my wife is like, "What the?
What are you watching?"
Leave. Yeah, exactly. You're not allowed to have remote privileges anymore. Making poor decisions. Oh.
So I think that's what I think that's what we wanted to review or talk about.
Yes.
I am busy watching. I mentioned last week Foundations that I said is Isaac Asimov. I've watched the first half of the first episode and I stopped myself because I knew this is amazing. I need to get my wife into this, so I'm going to go back and watch it from the beginning because this is the production value, the storytelling, this is good. So definitely keep your eyes out. I'm not allowed to say anything about it because it's embargoed until mid-September, I think.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so I can't really say anything apart from I'm really enjoying it so far.
And that is Apple TV Plus also, right?
That's Apple TV. Yeah, I'm amazed. There's some decent quality stuff more and more on there. They're really adding to their platform, which is great because they need to. I think they feel like they're now getting to that level of we're coming for Netflix, we're coming for Disney. They're going to have to keep adding to be on that level. Although Disney needs to stop doing the original titles that aren't actually that great thing.
Yeah. Agreed.
Anything else you wanted to mention before we wrap up?
So I get to see Shang-Chi
Yeah.
this week. I'm excited. And I don't know if you're a fan of it, but Money Heist, La Casa de Papel.
Yes, that's on. Definitely on my list to watch. That's probably going to be my one review this week, I think. Because Money Heist. Yeah, it's such a great story.
The writing is, even though the last season I think was not as great as the other seasons, I still am loving it.
But it was so high end to begin with. It's hard to keep it at that level, isn't it?
It really is, yeah. And the shocking things that they do, which I was so bummed at the end of last season because one of my favorite characters just had something bad happen to them.
Something happened to them, yeah.
Yes. Oh, goodness. Well, so if you have not seen La Casa de Papel, if you want a really well-written story that is an entertaining, engaging, fast-moving, with a lot of complex characters, you need to check that out because, what is it? Part 5, Volume 1 comes out this week, and then Part 5, Volume 2, I think, comes out in December?
Yeah, it's finishing this year for sure. So that's the last season, but it's in 2 parts. So
yes.
Yeah, looking forward to that. It's going to be really good. I hope. Cool. Fingers crossed. As good as
fingers crossed. Yes, absolutely. Yes. We hope it will be good. Obviously we'll find out coming this week.
Yeah.
So all All right. Anything else?
No, I'm good.
Anything you look
Yeah,
at?
I think that's
All right. Well, hey, thank you all for joining us. We hope that you've made it this long. We hope that you're as entertained with us as we are with us. Let us know if there are things that you think we should be watching. Put it in the comments. If there is something really terrible that you watched that, ooh, we need to add this to our worst of list.
Yeah,
that's
definitely.
outstanding too. And also, the best thing we watched this week. If you have a better name for that when I say better, shorter, more condensed, please put that in the comments too. We're looking for suggestions. Always we love interacting. We love interacting with all of you in the comments and just hearing your suggestions or anything like that, because it really does bring us together, and it's shared love of all kinds of content. So please continue to do that. Like the videos, please share it with your friends. Excuse me. If you haven't subscribed to the Ruby Tuesday with Ruben, please do so. If you haven't subscribed to me at Movies and Munchies, please do so. And other than that, hey, we will see you next week with hopefully some exciting things and the best thing we watched this week.
Yeah. Or stuff we watched this week?
Stuff we watched. Ooh. Is that compelling, though?
No. I don't think so.
It's not descriptive, really. I mean, it's...
No. We're spitballing.
Yeah, we're working on this. We need your help.
All right.
Okay. I'll see you later.
Bye.